This video will help you create and deliver your first proposal and set up some basic settings. So here we are on the dashboard. No proposals have been delivered yet, so we see this getting started guide here. One thing it'd be good to do would be to upload a logo. So if you click into that, you're going to see an area where you can click to choose your business logo. Once you've browsed and found your logo, you can hit Save Changes. And it should show your logo right there. Once we have our logo in, we can go over to the library and create our first proposal template. We can click New Template to create our first proposal template. As you can see, our logo is in the upper left-hand corner of the proposal. It has a gray border around it right now, so we can click on the Design drop-down menu to show us some design options. We can click on this checkbox for removing the logo border. Let's hit Save to see what that looks like. That looks better. Let's click on that design drop-down again. We can choose from these different themed backgrounds. I'm just going to go ahead and choose this kind of gradient background. Once you choose a background, you can actually change the color of the background by clicking here. I'm just going to make it a nice dark gradient background. You can also change the color of the header text as well. White will work. Let's hit Save once again. There we go. Our proposal is looking pretty good already. We can start by giving our template a title. In this case, we might want to call this our master event template. Once I've given it a title, I can start creating the content. We can break our template up into various sections. So these would be logical breaks in our proposal. So we might want to call this first section Introduction. If we want to add a new section to this template, we can simply hit Create New Section. It's going to ask us for the new section title. Let's call this Our Services. And we can keep doing that. Let's create a couple more sections. Let's create a pricing section and maybe terms and conditions. So now we have placeholders here for 4 great sections: Introduction, Our Services, Pricing, Terms and Conditions. We can add content to these sections by working within this editor right here. Similar to a Microsoft Word editor or other online editors. In our case, we have our content saved in Microsoft Word. So I'm just going to go over to Microsoft Word. I'm going to highlight, copy some content for our introduction section. I'm going to copy that, go back over to our introduction section, and here's an important part. Whenever we're bringing in content from outside of Proposable, we want to use these 2 buttons, Paste from Word or Paste as Plain Text. In this case, we want to use Paste from Word. This will maintain a lot of the formatting we've included in Microsoft Word and bring that in to the context of Proposable. We're just going to paste that content that we copied from our document, hit OK, and it brings in this content, formatted the way we had it. If we want to maybe add some other text, maybe add a heading here called Introduction, just to make sure people understand what section they're in. We can format this text using these different tools. We can change fonts. Let's make this a really nice modern looking font. Let's make sure we save these changes by hitting Save Proposal down at the bottom. Now you can work with these sections on the sidebar here. You can drag them up and down just by clicking and dragging and rearranging them. You can edit the title just by clicking the pencil icon. And you can delete by hitting the X. And that will delete that section. We can continue adding more content to these different sections just by going to that section, copying the content from our document, and once again using the paste from Word function. If, of course, our content is in Word. And once we have some content we're comfortable with, we can go back to the library and send a test of this proposal. So now we see in our library we have our master event template ready to go. If we want to send a copy of this out to a prospect, we can just hit Create Proposal, and that's going to create a new draft copy for us to then send out. So as you can see here, it looks just like what we were seeing in the library, but now we have these fields where we can specify who this proposal is going to be going to. In this case, I'm going to send it to myself, just as a test. It's helpful to use a different email than the one you're sending from for testing purposes. You can always add multiple recipients to this delivery by clicking the plus recipients button and adding additional recipients. So once I add the contact information, I would just hit Preview and Deliver. This allows me to click through the proposal and make sure everything looks the way I want it to look. Once I'm happy with it, I would just hit the big green Deliver button. That's going to bring me to this delivery window. This shows you what the delivery message will look like for the recipient. You can go ahead and change the subject line if you want, change the text there. You can add blind copies to colleagues or other people you want to be notified that this proposal was delivered. If everything looks good, we can go down, and before we deliver, we can enable the acceptance feature by clicking this box right here, Allow James to accept. This will place the acceptance feature at the top of the proposal, a big green accept button that lets your recipient accept and sign for this proposal. Once we're happy with that, we're going to click Deliver. And there we are, back to our dashboard. And the dashboard is where we see all of our recent history, the deliveries we've made, the drafts we're working on. If we're on a team account, we'll be able to see all our team members under this drop-down menu. We'd be able to drill down into various team members. In this case, we see we have one delivered proposal. That's a test proposal we sent to ourselves, so we can go to our email and see what that's going to look like. Here we are. We have the email that's sent. James, I've created a proposal for you to look over. To view it, click the link below. I'm going to click on that link and open it up in a different browser. And this is what my recipient will see. They'll see my brand at the upper right corner. They'll see these various sections they can start clicking through and reading my proposal. They can also accept digitally for this proposal by clicking the Accept button. If they're ready to move forward with you, they can simply type their name, sign their name with their mouse, and then hit Accept. Both parties will receive a receipt email with the date and timestamp of that acceptance, along with the signature and a link back to the proposal that was accepted. Congratulations, you sent your first proposal.